standing on now is landfill. See that tower right there? That is the Irish Catholic Church over there. It's called St. Paul's. And frankly, we didn't want the Irish in our neighborhood. We built them their own neighborhood. We filled in all this land. We said, here you go. You can have that piece of land. Get out of our nice neighborhoods in Harvard Square. And that's how this land came about. This stuff, the Harvard residences, don't even go up until the 1920s when construction starts. 1931, construction is finally finished on Lowell House. The president of Harvard at the time is Lowell, believe it or not. He decides he needs his own steeple, but he's going to put a clock tower at the top of it. It's going to be the best, the most notable thing. And then he gets a gift in 1929 from a guy named Charles Crane. Charles Crane comes over, he says, hold on, before you finish your clock tower, I've got some bells for you. Apparently, Charles Crane has somehow negotiated 17 Russian bells. There's actually supposed to be 18 of them. One of them is clearly not part of the set, so we hang it someplace else. But 17 bells are supposed to go in here. Gorenfeld's very excited about it. Charles Crane has saved these. The Bolshevik Revolution in 1917 has caused all bells in Russia to cease tolling. Anything that reminds us of the Tsar in Russia, they're going to get rid of. So all these bells are getting taken down and melted for industrial use. Charles Crane saves these bells, gives them to Lawrence Lowell, who brings over the Soviet bell-ringing experts, a guy named Konstantin Sarajev, to fix these bells. Now, Sarajev has a great reputation coming over here. Apparently, he's got 1,701 notes in his scale. In other words, he can find even the tiniest little steps that are sharp or flat from a note. Very, very precise ear. He can identify each bell that rings anywhere around Moscow just with the sound of it. That's how good pitch he has, right? So he comes over here. We decide to let this genius hack at our bells. Lowell says, I would like them eventually to play Harvard's anthem. And Sarajev says, well, you're going to need at least 17 more bells. Lowell says, can you just tune these? Sarajev says, okay, I'll see what I can do. Now, you should know one thing before you hear the rest of this story. You cannot tune bells. It cannot be done. You can scrape pieces of metal off the bottom of the plate, but that's about all that's going to change the tone, unless you do what Sarajev did. Sarajev decides to take a metal file and scrape grooves into it, and then he rings the bell to see if it's changed the tone at all. It takes a long time. It's a long process. So all day long in the basement of Lowell House, what you hear is shika 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 dong dong shika 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 shika. It's driving the kids nuts in here. They're about to have a nervous breakdown. They're like hear the dust. You know what I mean? It's really driving them insane. They go to the president. They go to Lowell. They say, I don't know what your crazy Russian is doing in our basement, but he smells of vodka. He still hasn't bothered to learn English. And he comes down in his pajamas in the middle of the night saying, piano, piano. And we say, we don't have a piano. And he says, neighbor, neighbor. So we have to take him to the neighbor's house at midnight. We'll plug 3 notes, find the one he's looking for, go, aha, and then go back to bed. And he's a really crazy person. Like, can we get rid of him, please? So Lowell comes in here. He sees what Sarajev has done to his bells. He says, you vandalized my bells. And Sarajev says, how else was I supposed to tune them? They get into a big heated argument. Lowell says, stop touching them, which drives Sarajev a little bit insane. He eventually has a seizure. And they put him in a hospital here. His bed sheets get covered in ink in the hospital. We ask him, Konstantin, what's with the ink all over your bed sheets? And he says, I'm drinking it to counteract the poison they're feeding me in here. We're like, okie dokie. So we send him back to Russia. They slap him in a sanatorium where unfortunately he's going to die over there. But Lowell will keep the bells in here with the grooves in them. They will ring. You can apparently hear them 15 miles away with the wind is right on the ninth day. And they stay here until the fall of the Soviet Union when the St. Danilovsky Monastery opens back up in Moscow. And they're going, we're open again. We have our bells back, and it takes Harvard about 20 years. But finally, in 2008, they decide the right thing to do is give these bells back. Those are actually replica bells here. They still ring, though, every Sunday from 1 to 1:30 if you like to come down here and hear the fact. But you probably still can hear this 15 miles away. It's really, really loud sound now. Anyway, Lowell not only has this place named after him, he's also very important in equalizing the class gap that's really widening here at Harvard at the change of the 20th century. To talk a little bit more about that class gap, I'd like to lead you to where the rich kids stay. It's called the Gold Coast. Right this way.